All right, everyone. Welcome to the 187 District Court. Today is Wednesday, so I've been told. Please don't turn this Wednesday into Monday. These are the rules of the 187 District Court here in the courtroom. That means that whatever you could not do if you were physically in the courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. If you behave inappropriately on the Zoom screen, your Zoom privileges will be revoked. To the inmates, you are not allowed to use the chat box. You're not allowed to use the internet. So what will happen to you if you don't obey the rules of Zoom? As you know, they're shorthanded. So you will be sent back and we will be able to see you maybe in 30 to 60 days, maybe even 90 days. To everyone who's at their home or at work who's Zooming, if you do not abide by the Zoom rules, what will end up happening is your Zoom privileges will be revoked. What that means is whether you're out of county, out of state, out of country, you're going to be required to appear in person in the 187 District Court. That's going to require you to get an Uber or a Lyft, an iPhone with the white cap on. You do not wear caps in court, so you need to take that off. And Mr. iPhone, what is your name?
Jesse Perez, ma'am.
All right, so what that will mean is you will have to get an Uber or a Lyft. If you take the Via bus, I used to take the Via bus. My understanding, they still don't give you change. So if you don't have exact change, Via is going to keep your change. If you drive downtown, what you're going to find is a lot of constructions, a lot of one-way. If you're able to make it downtown, then the next thing that's going to end up happening is you're going to have to find parking space. And you're going to find that parking space is extremely expensive now. If you are a defendant or someone who's accused, your screen must remain live. That means your video must remain on. The only time your video will not be on is if you are signing paperwork. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I do, it will invite everyone to a breakout room. Do not go unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all the defendants and those who are accused, you will hear your attorney's name called. Your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is Zooming in another courtroom or had to appear in person in another courtroom. But trust me, you will have a chance to speak with your attorney. Attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small you think that agreement may be, you need to put it into the chat box. The person who will be zooming in is Ms. Ferguson. She's the court coordinator. That's who you will send your plea bargain agreement to. She'll be listed on the screen as Ferguson coordinator. Please do not email her, chat her, text her asking for a continuance or a reset. I'm the only person who can do that. To the attorneys, it will make it easier and quicker if you were to rename yourself by adding, in addition to your name, the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial, division, or family violence. If you cannot do that, do not be concerned because I will do that for you. Pat Montgomery, thank you for changing your name. Pat Montgomery, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, ma'am.
Prosecutor will meet you there.
I appreciate it.
Andres Campion.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Thanks for changing your name. I'll send you to number 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Arnulfo Ortiz, I'm assuming you can't change your name.
Your Honor, I would change my name, but I haven't come up with one yet. People have tried Arnie or different things, but
Well, I mean, just adding to your name. Your client. What's your client's name?
Her name is Evangelina Sanchez. Evangelina, she's in custody, and I'd like to either meet her or get an offer from a prosecutor.
What is your client? Is your client charged with criminal trial division case or family violence?
I know it's an MTR because it's a 2017 case.
All right, let me
That's
see
what I know.
what it is.
It was originally a forgery. It's still a forgery.
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Eric Dewalt, I'll send you Let me see. Eric Dewalt, the only fault you have with your addition is you don't tell me whether it's criminal trial division or family violence.
And Your Honor, I have 2 MTRs that I've requested MTRs on, and they haven't sent them to me yet. There is a new case that is not indicted yet, but it's regular criminal trial division.
Okay. All right, and if you'll put your email address in the chat box to the CLO who's listed on the screen as CLO Reyes, she'll get you those motions.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, just do
Judge, I
that
have
before
to
you go to the
some of
breakout.
my- I have to delete some of my items in my email because it's not sending anything out.
Okay, so just give this a moment, but if you'll put that to her in the chat box before you go to the breakout room, and you'll be in number 6.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Pat Hancock?
Morning, Judge. I changed everything. I know you're shocked by that information.
Oh my gosh, it is so awesome. That just made today a even better Wednesday.
I'm happy to accommodate the court, Judge. I had been speaking with Mr. Nesbitt.
Okay, let me do this. Okay, I'm going to send you to number 8.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Robert Browback.
Judge, it's Donovan Castro, Criminal Trial Division. I thought that was set for tomorrow. I received the Zoom today. I appeared today, but I thought Norma had said it tomorrow, but I'm happy to appear today.
All right, let me see if it's on the docket. Yes, and it's just for us to get I don't know, there's some kind of hold request listed there. We'll see what it's about, but until then, I'll send you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you, Judge.
Acevedo, Alberto.
Judge, I have Terrence Trudeau. It's going to be CTD or family violence, excuse me.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 10.
Thank you.
All right, any other attorney who hasn't been assigned to a breakout room?
Your Honor, were you going to send me to 6, please?
Let's see. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Deputy Mejia, I sent you accidentally. Ernest Acevedo, you're back. I'm sorry, I say Ernie Acevedo. Alberto Acevedo, you back?
Sorry, Judge. I didn't know if you were talking about me, but
No,
I didn't want
I was. That's on me.
I have on Trudell, our discovery should be complete on the assault. If we can get, plea deadline, trial dates, all that stuff.
All right, and so you have all the discovery. Have you received an offer from the state?
No offer at this point. We need to, there's a pending CTD case that's unindicted that my client and I need to review.
Well, I can't give you a plea deadline date and what's the CTD case?
It's a burglary building.
All right, so that's the state jail felony and the assault case is the third.
Yes,
So
please.
have you received an offer from family violence then? I know you haven't received an offer from, I guess, CTD, but have you received an offer from family violence?
Not a formal offer, but I can get one from them right now.
All right, so after you get the offer, then come back to me and we'll discuss.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you want me to go back to the same breakout room?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Hector Garza, who are you here for?
Your Honor, I'm here for Stephen Markle. I had filed a motion to withdraw.
All right, and just one moment. All right. Mr. Garza, before we go on the record, what is the issue with Mr. Markle? Because I'm reading this and you're saying that you can't communicate.
That is correct.
I mean, is it a matter of you can't communicate or he doesn't want to listen to what you have to say?
Everything. To be quite candid, Judge, every time I attempt to explain to him the case, the facts, the issues, the man chooses to go down one path, then he should be released, period.
Oh, I mean,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Garza.
It doesn't matter what I say. He wants to have his own conversation and direct the conversation to what he believes should be happening, irrespective of my legal advice. So because of that, I do not care to represent him because I do not have time to waste with individuals that choose not to follow my advice. He'd be better off served with an attorney that he has a lot more patience with or trust in that he will follow their advice.
Well, I mean, it's sort of like if you have a doctor and if the doctor says,
No, you're good.
isn't it sort of though like a doctor? If a doctor tells you, hey, I've examined you, my advice is if we remove this, like you need your kidney removed, you'll have one, the one will work great. If the kidney remains, you're not going to survive past 2 months. And then the person says, well, thank you for telling me this. I'm not following that advice. I mean, I think criminal law is the same. It's like you can advise your client and say, hey, this is what the evidence is. This is what my advice on what should be done. And then the person can either take that advice or not take that advice. I don't see how giving him another attorney is going to change things.
Well, and as much as I can appreciate that, Judge, this is different. In this situation, I'm trying to tell him that he has a problem with his kidney and that we need to remove his kidney. He's telling me, no, that's not the prior, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. My problem is my foot and I just need to fix my foot so I can run.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, sometimes
That's-
people say that.
And so again, it just isn't, there isn't anything I'm going to be able to say, in my opinion, that is going to create a situation where we can effectively communicate to carry out his defense.
Hmm.
So he'd be better off served having another attorney who he trusts, who he can speak with, that they can have a cordial conversation to set up his defense. I'm just not that attorney.
Mr. Miracle?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, can you afford to hire an attorney?
No, ma'am, not while I'm incarcerated. I can't.
Okay, so we're not moving past, we're not at the not while I'm incarcerated phase. We're at the phase where you've been appointed an attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with evading arrest detention.
Everything stopped when I got out, like I said.
So, the fact that, as the example goes, the fact that you're concentrating on your foot instead of your kidney,
Marijuana was pretty much.
I mean, you can concentrate on whatever you want to concentrate on, but this is moving towards a jury trial. If you want a jury trial. Defense, has an offer been tendered in this case?
No, ma'am.
All right, so what I'm going to do, Mr. Garza, I'm going to send you to a breakout room to confer with states. You can tender the offer to Mr. Miracle, and then the court will take up your motion.
Fine.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 11.
Actually, it was in 15. I'm sorry, I got caught in 15. 2015 is when I went to jail.
All right, Andres Campion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, yes.
We have reached an agreement and I believe, I couldn't find Norma, so I assume she's 187th DC.
No, she just zoomed in.
Well then, there she is. Okay, so I've chatted to the wrong thing. We have an agreement on Jesse Perez. It's an MTR.
Okay, just put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson and she'll get you the documents that you need.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And I will send you and Mr. Perez. Mr. Perez, I'm going to send you to the breakout room where your attorney was, and that will be breakout room number 4.
Oh, so we can go over paperwork? Gotcha.
Yes. And Jesse Perez, if you'll go back to breakout room number 4, please. And Albert Acevedo on Truesdale.
Yes, Judge, we got a plea offer.
Okay, just one second. Let me find him on the docket. There we go. All right, so what are we doing with Mr. Truesdale?
Put it on the trial docket, Your Honor.
Have you told your client the offer?
Yeah, it's the same. Apparently, he had a previous attorney, so it was the same, so he's aware of it.
All right, Mr. Truesdale, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you received the offer from the state
Yes, ma'am.
and you're rejecting that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, I see that you haven't been given a plea deadline date, so I'm going to give you a plea deadline date for next week. Ms. Ferguson, could I have a date next week for Mr. Truesdale, please? All right, we're going to come back on December 14th. That will be your plea deadline date. Mr. Truesdale, after that, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in the case. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you and your attorney are excused. Gary Churak?
Yes, ma'am. I have a motion to modify bond. I guess I could talk to the DA. It's just a GPS to go to a funeral.
What is your client's name?
Jose Del Bosque.
Judge, I actually just emailed you guys about that one. The motion didn't provide a lot of information. If it's just a local funeral, I don't believe there's any connection to the victim. I don't
All
really
right.
have a problem with that.
I'll send you guys to breakout room number 12.
And Judge, will you make me a co-host?
Yes. Jose Rocha,
Hello, Judge. Good morning. How are you today?
great. How's it going for you?
Good, good. Your Honor, I am here for Mr. Jordan Dial. I don't see him on the screen, but I will need to speak to a district attorney and then
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
criminal trial division.
I'll send you to number 13.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anthony Cantrell,
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Johnny Villarreal sentencing this morning. He's in jail.
have you received the PSI report?
I have not.
Is it Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal trial. I think it's criminal trial.
All right, let me just see. Okay, I think it is. And Rebecca, could you get the sentencing report to Mr. Cantrell, please?
Yes, if he can put his email in the chat.
If you'll put your email in the chat before you go to breakout room number 14.
Okay.
And Mr. Villarreal, I'll send you to number 14. Pat Montgomery.
Hello, Judge. I'd like to report that Mallory Garcia has agreed to terms on the motion to revoke. I talked to Miss Brittany Spears with the prosecutor's office, and we're both going to attempt to persuade you to follow our agreement.
All right, thank you. If you'll put it in the chat box to Miss Ferguson, we'll take care of that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Gary Chirick, you're back.
Yes, ma'am. It's a local funeral and viewing. The DA does not have an issue with it.
What's the time frame?
Oh, I have to get it from my client. He's online. I think it's like, if I want to mistake, the viewing is from like 6 to 9 on the viewing in Rosary, 6 to 9 on Monday, and the funeral is on Tuesday from 10 to 1 or something like that. I'm not sure. I think that's what he told me.
All right, and I'm assuming children are going to be at this.
I do not know if their children are going to be there or not.
All right.
Kids are adults.
I'm sorry, what?
His children are adults. So
No, but it's based upon what he's charged with. He's charged with, and Mr. Delbowski, I don't take any of this as true because I haven't been presented any of the facts, but he's charged with aggravated sexual assault of a minor. Am I correct? That's what you put in your motion.
yes, ma'am. I think the alleged complaint was 16 or 17. I'm not sure of the age. So it's not a small child.
Okay, not 17 because it wouldn't be aggravated.
Right, 16, I believe.
Okay, all right, let me do this. Let me send you to breakout room number 1 with your client. And if you can bring the court the information as far as times are concerned.
Girl, I think I've got it. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. He emailed me in my email. I'm having.
Let me do this. Mr. Delbowski, what times are these? And dates? You're on mute, Mr. Delbowski.
Good morning. I'm sorry.
Good morning. Yes.
Judge,
Monday, December 13th.
All right, December 13th. And what is happening on December 13th?
December 13th is the viewing from 6 to 9. And the service is 7. The rosary starts at 7.
Wait a minute. So viewing 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And when is the service?
The funeral is on December the 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
All right. And who is the deceased to you?
This is my daughter's grandpa.
And are you and your daughter's mother still married?
No, ma'am.
So you're divorced?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And state you have no problem with him going to the viewing in the funeral?
I don't really have a problem with this limited purpose. You know, any other modifications, he would need to come back to court in the future, but for these limited time periods, he provides documentation. This is only where he's going. I don't have a problem.
All right. And your daughter's mother wants you there?
Yes, ma'am. We are in communication. I'm a friend of the family. I would like to be present to pay the respect to the family and obviously to support my daughters.
All right. And on December 13th, what location is the viewing?
It's on the Camero Funeral Home.
Could you spell that?
Camero Funeral Home. It's in Bon Army.
Von Army, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what's the location of the funeral?
It takes place at the same facilities. The funeral home is also the cemetery.
Okay. All right. So somebody help me. How long does it take to get to Von Army? Is that an hour? Is that less than an hour?
From my house, Your Honor, is 40 minutes.
Okay. So we'll do, I guess, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. on December 13th, and then from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., give or take. Usually, in my experience, funerals turn into family reunions. So sometimes it's longer than that. So what hours are you asking for? Usually, it doesn't turn into a reunion at the viewing, but at the funeral usually turns into a reunion, a family reunion. So on December 13th, it will be from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., Mr. Delboski.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State, are you okay with 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. on the 13th?
That's fine.
Now, on December 14th, as I say, those usually turns into reunions. So what time are you asking for on that? You're saying it's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll give you 9 a.m. to start, because I don't think when somebody passes, you just don't say, well, good luck, bye. Usually there's some conversations. So how long do we want it on December 14th? Speak to me, people. I'm not going to be there, so I don't know. I'm not a
Judge,
member of the family.
You know, I'm trying to be sympathetic, but I don't think he needs to spend the entire day there.
No, I agree with that. Gary, you're muted.
I think he said it was what? The funeral's from like 10 to 1. So maybe like, you know, he's got to get there. So 9 to 3 maybe, or something. That'll give him an hour to sit around after the burial and you know, chat and still get home by 3 o'clock, or go to his work job. I don't know what his plans are. He probably is going to go to work.
Yes, I'll be working, Gary. I will work in Your Honor those 2 days too.
Oh, okay.
So, Your Honor, the amount of time from my house or from my work, it will be around 40 minutes. in the direction. Either I'm at home or I'm working.
Just one moment. So 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Ms. Hayden, or something less than that? On 14.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Be excused.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Wait a minute, Mr. Churak.
Yes, ma'am.
Since we're here, have you conferred with the state on this case?
I have not, but I've got to jump to a couple other ones.
Well,
We're separate.
wait a minute. We're here for hearing. Ms. Ferguson, when is this case up on the docket next?
January 6th.
Judge, I don't think we've even had a first setting yet on it.
We haven't. It's set for January 6th, first setting. I don't think I even have all the discovery. I have to look.
Yeah, that's correct, Judge. It was just indicted in the first trial setting. It's on January 6th.
All right, see you back on January 6th. You and your
Thank you,
client are excused.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Pat Montgomery, just waiting on the paperwork for you. Pat Hancock.
Judge, I'm back. I conferred with Tom Nesbitt. I don't know if Tom's on, but waiting for some forensic information that's being dumped from a device that was delivered to the PD on this very case. Tom, are you there?
Yes, and everything he is saying is correct.
So when are we expecting that to be done? Do we have any idea?
I don't. I've sent 2 emails. I told Pat I'm going to send another one this morning saying what's going on.
Okay, because we were here on September 23rd and there was some kind of new tablet or something.
Same thing.
All right, Norma, can we set this in January, please? Late January, towards the end of January? All right, we're going to come back on January 31st.
Judge, can I speak to my client? He's in custody, and since I'm here, I could convey that to him.
Okay. And after you speak to him, if you can have him come back to the main room so we can excuse him.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Let me see where Mr. Mendoza is. Okay, there he is. And you were in 7. Mr. Mendoza, if you'll go to breakout room number 7, please, and your attorney will meet you there. Anthony Cantrell. Anthony Cantrell going once.
Judge, I'm here. I still have not received the email.
All right, just give us a moment.
I still have not received his email in the chat.
I sent it to I sent it to the clerk, and I also sent it to your coordinator to ask him to send
No,
it.
it's supposed to be the CLO Reyes.
Okay, I'll try that one too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll forward it to
Mendoza. And Norma, can you get a clerk, I'm sorry, someone at the jail to help Mr. Mendoza? He finally went. All right, Anorfo Ortiz, you are waiting so patiently. I appreciate that.
We have an agreement. We're looking for the waiver of appeal and the other paperwork, the Zoom, and then we'll be ready.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just emailed it to Mr. Control.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
And for criminal trial division, Robert Broback is in number 9 on Donovan Castro. And Jose Rocha is in number 13 on Jordan Dow. Eduardo Jimenez, who do you have?
Yes, Judge. I have Fabian Vega. That's a murder case.
Criminal trial division or family
Well, I
violence?
believe it's criminal trial division.
Okay, I'm going to send you to number 15.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Garza, you're back. You're on mute.
I was just about to send Brittany a chat, Judge.
Okay, no problem. Andres Campion. The
Yes,
court
Your
has
Honor.
received your documents. You ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Jesse Perez?
It's Miss McIntyre, Your Honor.
She's here. She's in a breakout room number 6. As soon as she comes back, we'll take that up.
Absolutely.
And Pat Montgomery, I just received your paperwork and we'll take that up as well.
That's very kind, Your Honor. I'm in the middle of a jury trial, so I'd like to get back to prep.
Okay. All right, when you say you're in the middle of a jury trial, are you in actual trial or you're prepping for trial?
No, not until 1:30. The judge has
Oh,
a
well, we
giant
need-
docket this morning, and so we took the morning off because once I told him that I had to be in Judge Boyd's court, he dutifully stepped aside. And
Oh, that's so nice. All right, Norma, can you let them know Mr. Mendoza, I believe that was Pat Hancock's client, is excused. He's 16A.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you, Norma.
Who is the prosecutor you were dealing with on Garcia?
Miss Brittany Sparks.
All right, Miss Sparks, are you there?
Actually, Judge, I think she's in another breakout room because I was about to ask you to send me wherever she.
Okay. She is number 13. As soon as she comes out of 13, I'll take you right up, Mr. Montgomery, so you can get out.
Her rec was going to be exactly what probation rec'd, and so anybody could handle it.
All right, is there someone available to take this so Mr. Montgomery can get ready for his trial? And Mr. Campion, do you mind Mr. Montgomery leapfrogging over you?
Not at all, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I can handle it, Judge.
All right, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
The court is calling 2021 CR 0242, State of Texas versus Mallory Raquel Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record, please?
Caitlin Wilkes for the state.
Pat Montgomery for the defendant, but I don't see her. She may be in the breakout room still. She was
She
struggling.
is. Let me see if I can get her back here. And then Hector Garza, who were you waiting for?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Which prosecutor were you waiting for?
Brittany Sparks.
All right. Thank you. Brittany, can you take Mr. Garza to a breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Real quick, Pat, while we're not on the record, what are we pleading on?
The failure to submit.
Okay.
But certainly not the new number ones, but the failure to submit.
Okay, great. So 15 you. Okay, thank you. Or 15 something. Yeah.
All right. So we're back on the record in 2021 CR 0242 at the state of Texas versus Mallory Garcia. The parties could announce for the record for the state.
Caitlin Wilkes for the state.
For the defense.
Pat Montgomery for the defendant, Mallory Garcia.
And are you Miss Garcia? You'll need to unmute.
Hold down that space bar.
Yes, ma'am. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state? Any objection from the defense?
None, Your Honor, we consent.
All right, Ms. Garcia, did you review the document entitled defendants?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, just one moment. Entitled defendants consent to waive appearance and appear by video conference?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled motion to revoke community.
I was almost up.
Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Mallory R. Garcia who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 0242 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on August 3rd, 2021 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was right. State.
I just didn't know if it was relevant.
Violation of condition number 2. On or about the 18th day of August, 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Mallory R. Garcia did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court supervision officer in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
The state waives the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
None, Judge.
All right, Ms. Garcia, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 4 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. I think both parties have an agreement and recommendation for the court that you deny the motion, continue her on probation, amend for SATIF, followed by aftercare. And if she does not have SATIF, we would recommend SafeP.
All right, Mr. Montgomery, is that the agreement?
That's correct, Your Honor. She'll pass that if we won't need safety. Right, Mallory?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Garcia, what is your issues? What are your drug problems?
Well, heroin use.
I'm going to do a referral to felony drug court.
Your Honor, I
If she
believe
is not accept.
I don't want to interrupt, Judge, but I do know that she, one of the allegations in the MTR was that she didn't complete felony drug court. So just so the court knows, I don't want that to come back and cause a problem later.
All right, why didn't you complete felony drug court?
A lot of it had to do with not having a place or like, communication. Okay. But now my.
No, don't speak, double speak with me. When you say communication, that would be communication on your part because I've been an attorney in felony drug court. So again, what were your issues with felony drug court?
Yeah, my lack of communication, I'm sorry.
Why were you not communicating with them?
Because I was on drugs. I was,
Well, I mean, it was more than because you were on drugs, because felony drug court deals with people who are on drugs.
I'm ready to get it over with, so.
So were you not reporting to them? What were you not doing?
Yeah, I wasn't reporting.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to do a re-referral to felony drug court. If felony drug court accepts you again, do not come back here for miscommunication with felony drug court, because I know that felony drug court is a hard program. It's harder than SADF. So you're going to be going to felony drug court. If felony drug court does not accept her or she's put on the wait list, then she's going to safety. Because if you have a heroin issue, SADF is really not going to solve that issue.
Okay.
So I'm going to be referred to felony drug court. If not accepted or wait listed for felony drug court, then safety. You understand, Ms. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm sure if you are ready to be in felony drug court, they will accept you back. But if you're not honest with them and not truthful with them, then they are not going to accept you back. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Montgomery, do you mind waiting with your client just briefly in breakout room number 1? Because I have another motion to revoke to do.
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
probation will come in and go over conditions with her.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for taking me out of turn, Judge. Everybody
you're
else who had
welcome.
to wait. See you.
All right, thank you. Andre, Andres Campion, could you start your video, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your, who is the prosecutor on this case?
Give me one moment. I'm pulling up the MTR.
All right, and who's speaking?
Meredith, it's Eric. Can I talk to you?
Okay. I'm hearing a lot of voices. And is there someone available to speak with Ed Shaughnessy on Jasmine Hardaway? He's in the courtroom. All right, Mr. Shaughnessy, just give us a moment. And Meredith, just let me know when you're ready.
Judge, I'm ready. This is Castro whenever the court's ready for me.
And I'm ready as well, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2017 CR 10708, State of Texas versus Jesse Perez III. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Perez Campion for the defense.
And are you Mr. Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection from the defense.
Mr. Perez, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Are you saying Jesse Perez, who was placed on community supervision for the offense of driving while intoxicated third or more on January 26, 2018 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
On or about the 9th day of May 2021 in Comal County, Texas, the defendant Jesse Perez III did then and there own, operate, or control a motor vehicle not equipped with an approved ignition interlocking device as instructed by the court, violation of condition number 20.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
We will waive the remaining violations.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 20, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 5 years in prison? Did you understand?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead to violation of condition number 20?
Yes, ma'am.
And defense, do you have any objections to the state's waivers?
No objection from the defense, Your Honor.
Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We are in agreement to recommend to this court that you deny the motion, continue him on his community supervision.
Mr. Perez, you need to find a stationary location. All right, yes, Mr.
I had to bit.
McIntyre.
Yes, and then alter and amend his conditions to include adding scram for a year.
Not scram, the handheld device.
Oh, the in-home, is that what we're agreeing? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Judge, the in-home device for a year in addition to his original conditions, which included ignition interlock.
All right, so here's the question. Why shouldn't I just say he's not allowed to drive, period?
Your Honor, that his employment requires that he drive, and his employment isn't just based in San Antonio. For example, I believe later on today, he has to be in, what's the name of the? Lacoste, Texas.
Yes.
So in order for him to maintain employment and to cover his living expenses, he needs to be able to drive. He is abiding by the orders of the court. As of now, we understand that the allegations of the MTR include his failure to comply with that. But we are asking that the court take leniency and consider just the fact that the added in-home device will not only monitor his alcohol, blood alcohol levels, which we're expecting to be 0, but will monitor his levels not only when he's behind the wheel because of the ignition interlock, but also at the prescribed times that the in-home device will require that he be monitored. We believe that the additional monitoring based on the choices that are available to probation, this is going to be one of the better alternatives to consider his financial resources and to make sure that the monitoring is satisfactorily done to the desire of the state.
State.
And Your Honor, the state's position is that we needed an added safeguard to make sure he's not drinking. And before, with the ignition interlock, we were only, telling what was happening when he was getting behind a wheel. And obviously he did something, he pled true to getting into a vehicle that didn't have it, which is obviously a concern. So we needed another monitoring device. And if he provides any blood alcohol or violations, he knows he's in a world of hurt. He also has a pending, I know he didn't plead true to it, so it's outside what Your Honor can consider, but he does have some pending charges coming down in Comal so at the end of the day, his problems are still before him. We didn't want to continue delaying this case to see what would happen in the other county.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include in-home device for a length of probation, and he's deploying the in-home device 6 times per day. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Excuse me, Judge, is that in addition to the ignition interlock or in lieu of?
Yes, the ignition interlock is to remain. And Mr. Perez, if you drive or you're in another vehicle where you don't have the in-home device with you, or you don't have the ignition and the ignition interlock is not on the vehicle, the court is going to strongly consider you not driving at all, regardless of your work status. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you out to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over new conditions with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and were you previously in a breakout room with your client, Mr. Campion?
I was, Your Honor. I was in breakout room 4.
All right, I'll send you to number 1. And Rebecca, you can go to 1. And if you can let Pat Montgomery know he's excused.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Anthony Cantrell, what is happening with your case?
Judge, we're ready to proceed.
All right, Mr. Perez, you need to go to breakout room number 1.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Who are the parties on Anthony Villarreal?
I know I received the plea bargain from Marcus in the past. I don't know if he's here today.
All right, is there anyone available on Anthony Villarreal for sentencing?
I can be available, Judge. I looked at the plea bargain and it was my understanding it's an agreed recommendation for probation, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7144, State of Texas versus Johnny Raymond Villarreal. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Anthony Cantrell.
And are you Mr. Villarreal?
He's on mute.
Yes. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
The court will note that the plea was entered on October 21st to the lesser included offense of robbery. And the court is unaware because it's not listed on the docket sheet. How did your client plead to that offense, Mr. Cantrell?
Yeah, Your Honor, he pled guilty to that offense.
All right, and if the prior judge did not say it, I have reviewed the PSI report. In just one moment. And I've also reviewed the waiver and consent to stipulations of testimony and stipulations, and it's sufficient to find him guilty of robbery. So if the previous judge did not put on the record, the court is finding him guilty of the offense of robbery. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. The state is recommending community supervision, and there are no applications for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the state is in agreement to your client receiving community supervision. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client, Mr. Cantrell?
No, Your Honor. We just asked the court to follow the plea bargain.
All right, Mr. Villarreal, why were you stealing?
I wasn't. I was finding a place to stay to sleep. It was just early in the day. I was tired.
No, I mean, it's more than that because you're not here for finding a place to sleep.
Well, when I got there, nobody was even there. Nobody was there when I went into the shop.
Well, let's unpack your suitcase this way because it seems to me you want to fudge a little bit. So why were you finding a place to sleep? Why didn't you have a place to stay?
I was leaving from my wife's house. She came looking for me and I wasn't trying to go back home.
How often do you use drugs?
I haven't used drugs in like 10 years.
What drugs were you using?
I was on heroin.
All right. So have you been to a treatment facility or anything?
No.
So when did you stop using heroin? Allegedly.
2013.
Why did you stop using heroin?
Why?
Yes.
I just came out of prison. I just never went back to it.
Do you have any children?
Yes,
What are their ages?
23 and 21.
All right, because I'm reading the official version, and the official version was that you were trying to get into this vehicle.
What vehicle?
This person, he stated that when he arrived to the intersection, he witnessed the defendant loading items into a green Chevrolet truck. He stated that he confronted the defendant and demanded him to return his property. Victim stated that the defendant punched him several times in the face, causing an abrasion above his left eyebrow. He stated the defendant also kicked him and demanded money from him while being assaulted. He stated that there was another male near the truck, but the male walked away during the confrontation. Victim stated that he refused to give defendant money, and suddenly an unknown female walked up to the defendant asking for the keys to the truck. Victim stated that to the female, and moments later, the defendant and the female got in the truck and fled the scene. He stated that he is familiar with the defendant who loiters around the neighborhood. So again, what were you doing in the neighborhood?
That's my neighborhood. I live around there.
Yeah. So when's the last time you had employment?
I have employment now once I get out.
Now, when's the last time you had employment? When's the last time you received a paycheck from somebody from working?
Before I came out.
So on the day that this happened, did you have employment?
Yeah.
Doing what?
I've been doing good. I'm in construction with my brother-in-law.
Mr. Cantrell, what is your problems, issues?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know his social upbringing over there. I know he's had issues in the past. He claims he's put all that behind him.
Because I'm trying to figure out, why did he do this? How does I don't have a place to sleep and I'm just trying to sleep turns into him stealing items from somebody? How does his telling me I have employment and everybody says they know him from the neighborhood because he just hangs around?
Look, all of this is a coincidence. I wasn't stealing nothing. I wasn't with anybody at that time. When the police pulled me over, when they caught me there, I was by myself. But I know this is gonna be too hard to fight in court. I don't want to be here for no 2 years.
Oh, if you want a jury trial, I'll give you a jury trial.
That's the whole thing. I don't want one.
Okay, then don't. If you don't want a jury trial, quit pretending as though you do. So this is what I'm going to do. You're telling me you don't have a drug problem, you don't have any issues, then I'm not going to give you any drug treatment. So that's what you're telling me. I'll go with that. But don't come up positive on this probation. Otherwise, you could end up going to prison for 5 years. So do you have a drug problem? Yes or no?
No.
Are you a gang member? Yes or no?
No.
How old are your children?
23 and 21.
All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sentence him to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years, $1,000 fine, probated, restitution to Ezekiel, Ezequiel, Aguirre, Limon, Limon, 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be deducted if he provides proof that he's had the COVID vaccination. There's to be no contact with Ezekiel Aguirre, Limon, the UA hotline, regular Zoom reporting, or in person, field visits, random, 3 times per month, proof of employment within 30 days of release, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. and take in consideration County Court Cause number 661470. Is there anything else from either side with regards to the court sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gary, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? I'm sorry, Mr. Villarreal, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have a question over what the definition of a weapon is, you'll need to have to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. Good luck to you, Mr. Villarreal. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over your conditions with you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you, Judge.
Cantrell, you can go to number 1, or either you can be excused.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. Thanks. All right, everyone, just let me sign a document and then we will be ready for the next person. Just give me a second. All right, Eric Dewalt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Yes, you have your hand raised.
We have two MTRs. We are ready. I'm waiting for paperwork from Ferguson, and we're ready when y'all are ready.
Okay, as soon as the court gets that, we will take that up.
Thank you so very much.
All right, you're welcome. And the court has done the paperwork on Sanchez. All right. Who are the attorneys on Sanchez?
Arnulfo Ortiz represents Evangelina Sanchez.
Who's the prosecutor?
A new young lady from Dallas named Brittany Sparks.
Okay. Let me see where she is. She's in breakout room number 13. Just give us a moment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Adam Cobbs?
Judge,
Who do you have?
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Oh, great. Who do you have?
I've got Mark Salmon. I think this is a status update for a competency report.
All right. I'll send you to breakout room number 2. Ms. Ferguson will meet you there. All right, the court is going to call 2017 CR 1674W, State of Texas versus Evangelina Sanchez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense?
Arnulfo Ortiz for Evangelina Sanchez, Your Honor. Sorry.
And are you Ms. Sanchez? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objections, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that those documents with your attorney, and did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Are you the same Evangelina Vidal Sanchez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2017 CR 1674W for the offense of forgery of a commercial instrument or check on April 3rd, 2017 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Judge. Violated condition number 5 in Dare County, Texas. The defendant, Evangelina Sanchez, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer in person for the months of May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2018 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
And we're going to waive all other violations.
Any objection?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is.
Yes, Your Honor, there is. Our agreement is to revoke and to sentence the defendant to 6 months in the state jail facility.
Is that the agreement, defense?
It is.
Ms. Sanchez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court, as previously stated, is finding violation of condition number 5 true. Will grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 6 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing? State?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing
Defense?
further.
All right, next I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you have a question over what a weapon is, you'll need to contact an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then we'll go off the record. Ms. Sanchez, good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better. Otherwise, you may find yourself in and out of prison. Don't be that person when the new person comes into a prison or jail and they say, how are things run here? And they say, oh, ask the oldest person at the prison or the person who knows the ropes. And they're gonna say, who is that? And they're gonna say, oh, we call her Grandma Sanchez. Don't be the Grandma Sanchez at the prison, okay? If you have a drug or alcohol problem, there are plenty of free places in town that can help you, all right? Good luck to you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, bye-bye. Norma, Sanchez L29 can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Adam Cobb's on Mark Salmon.
Hi, Judge. May we get a 30-day reset? I believe that report is still being worked on.
All right, do we know, has your client actually been evaluated?
I don't know that. I assume he has because the
He
last
has
word
been, Judge. We're just
All right,
waiting for the report.
So when is the report going to come in? Because on November 16th, we were waiting for the doctor's report.
Yes, it usually takes, they said about 45 to 60 days, Judge.
All right, so give me a 45-day reset from November 16th. So I guess we're going to put this really in January. Put it at the end of January, please.
I can do the 31st.
All right, we'll come back on January 31st. Hopefully we'll have the report by then.
Okay, thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes,
All right, have a good day.
thank you, you too. All right, Hector Garza.
Judge, we
Yes.
potentially have reached an agreement on Mr. Markle's case. However, I need to go set up and have him plea out on a misdemeanor case, and that will result in a dismissal of his current case.
Okay, and do you know which court the misdemeanor is out of?
It is in County Court 14. The cause number to that case, Judge, is 663401.
All right, does anybody have an idea of when he'll be able to get that done in the other court?
Well, Judge, my suggestion was you make one of those judicial magical phone calls, which makes it happen infinitely quicker than any of us.
Okay, so you say it's 14. Who is in 14?
Judge, that's Carlo Key. They're in person today, so they don't have a Zoom link. So the coordinator was going to try to fit him in maybe tomorrow.
Okay, just give me 1 second, everyone.
Oh, Judge, by the way,
Yes.
I can't appear tomorrow. I'm specially set in Kirk County in person.
Oh, no, we're going to see.
Okay.
Just 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right, Mr. Garza, we're going to see if we can make that happen today. Just give us a moment. And Hector, you also have on the docket, where is he? All right, as soon as Hector.
I'm right here.
Hi, you also have Bridget Adams on the docket today?
Correct, it's sentencing.
Okay, so I'm trying to see if I can get your plea done today on Mr. Maricol. I'm just waiting for an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you need to speak with someone concerning Bridget Adams?
Well, like I said, Judge, the plea is done. I have not seen the PSI yet, but we're basically at the point of just sentencing.
Okay, so let me look at her a plea agreement.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room real quick?
Sure, everyone, just give me a moment. All right, number 2.
Oh.
All right, to the courtroom. Is Ed Shaughnessy in there with his client Jasmine Hardaway?
Yes,
If
Your
you could
Honor.
approach, please.
Over here.
Oh, just face forward.
Just stand on the arrows.
No, Miss Hardaway, come forward, please.
Over here.
There are the arrows in the floor. Just face the front where the arrows are at. Mr. Shaughnessy, further back, because you're just like, your chest is there now.
Is that bad?
All right, so just one moment. All right, Miss Jasmine Hardaway.
Yes, ma'am.
The court is in receipt of a violation report.
Yes.
So this is what I want to know from you. We're not on the record because this is me having a conversation with you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what is your work schedule?
Right now, I'm just taking my daughter to school and stuff. I'm home.
No, what I need to know the hours.
Okay, I leave from 7 to 5.
No. So you say you take your child to school, so you have to be there. You leave your house at 7 a.m. or she has to be at the house at school at 7 a.m.
I leave my house at 7 a.m.
All right, so when you drop her off at 7 a.m., how long does it take you to drop her off?
Depending on traffic, just say like 45 minutes, an hour.
All right, and then what time do you have to pick her up?
Sometimes from 3 to 5:45 because she's in choir too. So it just depends on what days she have choirs and the days that she don't have choir.
All right, Mr. Nesbitt.
Yes, Judge.
We're not on the record, but did you receive a copy of the violation report on Jasmine Hardaway?
I did in defense, and I discussed it in brief as well.
All right. So the options they're giving me, which I just consider those as suggestions from the PR bond people, but it seems like there is an issue with you following rules. I'm not going to increase your bond, which I could do. I'm not going to remand you without bond, which would mean that you'd be at the Bexar County Jail until your case happens, which I could do. But I'm going to put you on GPS. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Can I say
So
something?
I'm going to put you on GPS with the curfew. And then if that curfew works out, okay, then your attorney can come back. And Mr. Shaughnessy, I would say come back in approximately 60 days and we'll see where we are. So the only issue now is
Your Honor, one
Yes.
question. Is this going to apply to both of her bonds?
I'm doing it under clause number 2021 CR 1111.
Not on the new case then, not on the night mag?
No.
Okay.
So the question now becomes curfew. Mr. Shaughnessy, what would your suggestion be for a curfew time?
Can I have a minute, Your Honor?
Yes.
What do you have to say about a curfew? What time?
So I do take my daughter to the park and I do go to church or things like really
Well, why would you need to be out till 10 o'clock?
I don't, just in case my daughter goes out, in case I need to do other errands, or you can do 6. You can do 6, do 9. 9. 9 o'clock.
5 or 6.
No. But my daughter has a recital. She's in choir.
Your Honor, the defense would request 9 p.m. on the curfew.
State?
I think that's pretty standard. So, yeah.
All right, so you're okay with the 9 p.m. curfew?
Yeah.
What that means, there are to be no excuses. You are to be at your home at 9 p.m. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
Not from Ms. Hardaway, Your Honor.
Okay, let me pull her down. All right, then we'll be back on January 21st for your discovery, and you both are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Hardaway, you'll need to get in contact with your pretrial services officer so that you can make sure you get the GPS. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna call them right now.
All right, thank you. You're
You want
excused.
me to just go up there?
Just go there.
Okay.
Call ahead of time and go there.
All right, thank you. You guys are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, have a great rest of your day. Eduardo Jimenez. You're on mute. All right, I'm assuming he's doing something else. Mr. Robert Brawback.
Judge, no one ever came to the breakout room. I was there for since you assigned me about an hour ago.
Okay, let me put you in a different room, and I'll put you in number 3.
Okay, thank you.
So Criminal Trial Division, Robert Brawback has Donovan, Castro in 3. All right, is there a Christopher Collins here?
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor.
Over. All right. Hello, Mr. Collins. How are
Hey,
you?
what's up? I'm doing all right.
So here's the issue. I asked for you to go to felony drug court, but there's a wait list for felony drug court. Probation, do you know what the time wait is for felony drug court?
No, ma'am, I sure
No,
don't.
not you, just one second. Probation? She's in a breakout room. Everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Did Brabeck go to 3, Judge?
Yes, he should be in number 3. Let me see, where is he? He went to number 9,
Okay, I'll
but
go
he
there.
should be in 3.
I'll go to 9.
All right, thank you. It's a Monday, but we have smiles.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Mr. Collins, just wait. Don't unmute. We'll be right back with you. Just one second. All right, Mr. Collins, can you unmute?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Collins. I know the reason why you're not in felony drug court. They were willing to accept you, but you told them that you don't have a drug.
And then we'll make a counter offer at the next.
Yeah, that's right, to be honest with you, yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay. But you do have a drug problem, because otherwise I would not have referred you to felony drug court.
We'll discuss more when you come see.
Just give me one moment.
And Judge, I emailed you the supplemental reports this morning.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry, Judge, Hector Garza.
Just a moment. All right, Mr. Collins.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, what they're saying is that you're refusing to sign your paperwork.
No,
So
no,
here's the thing.
no, ma'am, I wasn't refusing, to be honest with you. I didn't know nothing about it.
No.
Excuse me for saying that. I'm sorry.
Nope, I want you to listen clearly to me. And I want you to focus. This is what it says. To date, the probationer has completed the TAP. You've been recommended for a dual diagnosis residential facility. You were rejected from felony drug court because you would not participate. And it says on November 23rd, the evaluation was conducted and you meet the criteria for both DDRF and MIC. On November 30th, your probation officer met with you via video visitation to sign the amended conditions of probation. The probationer refused to sign the amended conditions and demanded to be released from Bexar County Jail. So this is what's going to happen. You can either sign the conditions or a motion to revoke will be filed. Those are your two choices.
I'll sign it. I just don't know about the paperwork. I'll
Here's
sign
the
it.
thing. We're not going to play these games. So this is what I'm telling you. You can sign the conditions or not sign the condition. That is your choice. If you don't want to sign the condition, that's fine. A motion to revoke will be filed against you and we'll hear the motion. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I sure do. I don't mind signing.
Well, if you don't mind signing, why do I have to be here to tell you that you either sign the conditions or a motion to revoke will be filed? You know they're shorthanded where you are. And so instead of acting as any adult would, I now have to speak to you to tell you that you need to follow your conditions.
Nobody didn't tell me nothing about no paperwork, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. Why should I hold my tongue? I'm telling the truth.
Probation officer actually Zoomed with you and you refused to sign. So don't pretend like this is the first you're hearing of the fact that you didn't sign. Don't pretend like this is the first you're hearing that felony drug court says that you would not participate. So let's not play games. So this is what I'm telling you, Mr. Collins.
Okay, let me sign the paperwork then.
Mr. Collins, you can sign the conditions of probation or not. You're an adult. You're not a child.
Yes,
if you
no.
don't want to sign them, that is okay. You don't have to sign them. But if you do not sign your conditions, a motion to revoke will be filed.
Okay, then let me sign them then. I don't mind it. But the probation officer did speak to me, but she didn't say nothing about no paperwork. No, ma'am. She said, this is what was told to me. She said, I have to review the paperwork to get you.
All right, Rebecca, he's now ready to sign conditions.
Okay, and the other two are also on, Judge.
Zachary Lopez, where are you?
He's in custody as well.
I'm here.
All right, just give me a moment, Mr. Lopez. All right, Mr. Lopez, I ordered that you were to be referred to felony drug court. My understanding is that you do not wish to go to felony drug court. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a insurance where you can go to a private program?
Outpatient?
No. My question
sorry.
is, do you have a insurance where you can go to a private facility?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right. So here's the thing for you, Mr. Lopez. I've ordered you to felony drug court. You've been approved for felony drug court. And let me show you what I received from them in regards to you. This is what it says. You're not eligible to DDRF, but you were sent to felony drug court. You were explained the conditions for drug court and you're refusing to participate in the program. So therefore they are rejecting you. So here's your choice. You can participate in felony drug court or not. You're an adult. We don't make our programs. Guess what? If we could all make our programs and be successful at them, we would not be inmates at the Bexar County Jail. So you too can go to felony drug court. I've sentenced you to, as a condition to felony drug court. You're saying you don't want to go.
Well,
You
the
can
reason-
do that, or either a motion to revoke can be
The
filed.
reason I don't want to go is because they're trying to send me to DDRF. I've already been to DDRF in the past. I got MTR because I told
Let me
them I was
just tell you, you're not
transgender.
eligible for DDRF. So here's the thing, you can go to felony drug court or not go to felony drug court. That's where I'm sending you. If you do not wish to go to felony drug court and you do not want to sign the conditions to go to felony drug court, what will end up happening is there will be a motion to revoke filed against you. So it's your choice. We're all adults here. We're not to make our program. If we can make our program and be successful at it, we would not be at the Bexar County Jail. I mean, they're for me included. I can't write my own program on certain things, because if I could write my own diet program, guess what? I wouldn't need a diet. My program would be working just beautifully. So sometimes we can't write our own programs. If we could, we would not be here. So those are your choices.
So
You can either go to felony drug court.
I wasn't accepted to DDRF.
Lopez.
Your Honor, I've already been to DDRF in the past. They were trying to send me the DDRF again because I told them I was transgender. And the reason why they don't want to accept me is because I am transgender.
Well, that's why I'm sending you to felony drug court.
Where
And
am I
guess
gonna
what?
go
If you go to
after
felony,
drug
guess
court?
what? If you go to felony drug court and felony drug court says, we're sending you to DDRF, DDRF will tell them they're not accepting you.
I've waited 3 months for DDRF already.
You were waiting for felony drug court and you didn't sign up for it.
But
So
before
here's my thing.
that, I was waiting 3 months for DDRF. I waited 3 months after you sent me to lifetime recovery, and I left. And I'm sorry I left. That was the biggest mistake I could have made. Can you send me to Cross Point? I'm asking for another chance, please.
I am giving you another chance. Rebecca, he used to go to felony drug court. If he doesn't want to sign the paperwork to go to felony drug court, then file a motion to revoke.
Yes, ma'am.
Richard Mason.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right, just one moment. All right, Mr. Mason, just give us a moment on your request for removal of ignition interlock.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to bring the state in for that. Mr. Lopez, I do understand your concerns, but again, we've already tried outpatient with you. You left lifetime recovery. And so now you want to be in another outpatient facility. That's not going to work. You're going to need to go to felony drug court. You know, sometimes in life, I'm sorry is acceptable, and you say thank you. And it's always acceptable to say I'm sorry, but then new things have to be done. And we can't all just do what we want to do in life and then continue to try to write our programs, because that hasn't been working for you. So, Mr. Lopez, I'm sending you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Collins, I'm sending you to breakout room number 1. And Rebecca, could you go to number 1, please?
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Mason, you already signed the removal. This was regarding removing the no driving order.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, may I approach when you have a moment?
Yes, just give me a moment.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, you need to go to number 1. And Mr. Mason, just give me a second. All right, Ruben Flores, who do you have? You're on mute.
I have Alfonso Diaz, Judge.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Trial.
I'll send you to number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge, I was waiting in room 15 for CTD for quite a while. I don't know if, I don't know what happened.
All right, I'll send you to number 3.
Okay.
All right, Eric Dewalt.
Yes, Your Honor. I am here on 2 MTRs, but I've been dealing with Ms. Ferguson, and I think she forgot to hit send on my waiver paperwork. So it should be coming shortly.
All right, thank you. Jose Rocha.
Yes, Your Honor, I was speaking to the district attorney's office, Ms. Sparks, in fact. I don't see my client in here for today, but I do have an offer that I would need to talk to my client about, and I believe that that would resolve this MTR, Your Honor.
Is your client on bond?
No, Your Honor, he's in jail. He's
All right,
in
I don't see Jordan Dowell on the docket. Let me find out what's going on. Brennan, do you see Jordan Dowell on the docket?
And Your Honor, what might be the issue is that it was a reset because I was unavailable. I was stuck in another court during the last hearing for him, and Ms. Ferguson and yourself, Your Honor, allowed me to reset it for today.
All right, what's the cause number?
Let me pull it up right away, Your Honor. It is 635448.
So he hasn't been indicted?
All right, 2020 CR 9273. That's a pending case.
All right, just give us a moment. Everyone, just give me one moment, please.
Hey, 16D Castro. Are you Donovan Castro?
And then Tom, what is his name? Eduardo Jimenez was waiting to see someone. I don't know if anyone had a chance to speak with Eduardo Jimenez.
Yeah, sorry, Judge. Let me do one thing at a time. Is 16D Castro, is that Donovan Castro?
Are you Donovan Castro? If you're Donovan Castro, just raise your hand. Yes.
Okay, can you put him in breakout room 9 with Robert Brabeck, please?
All right, Mr. Castro, please go to breakout room number 9.
And Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. They already sent over the paperwork to for the misdemeanor court.
Okay, who did they send the paperwork to?
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. To Hector Garza.
All right, Mr. Garza, you have your paperwork.
Hi, Judge. I'll go through it. I'm doing paperwork for another plea as well.
All right, thank you. Eduardo Jimenez.
So on that
Sorry,
one,
Judge.
Judge, I had gone to breakout room 15, but it was empty when I went, and so then I moved to the next one.
No problem.
Yes, Judge, my internet got cut off, so I'd be happy to join again. Room 3 or 15, whatever room.
All right. I'm sending you to number 3.
Okay.
All right, and as soon as I have paperwork on the other cases, the court will proceed. And Norma, Mr. Rocha says he has Jordan Dowell on the docket. And I guess Mr. Dowell is in custody. Can you see if we can have Mr. Dowell brought in, please?
Okay, Judge, give me just a second, Judge.
Judge, if you have a moment, could you put Vega 14P into breakout room number 3, please?
All right, Mr. Vega, if you go to breakout room number 3, please. Mr. Broback, you're back.
Yes, ma'am. I'm back. Judge, Prosecutor Tom and I have an agreement. If he can do the paperwork, we can dispose of the case today instead of coming back tomorrow.
Of course. All right, thank you.
All right, am I muted? No, we'll get it going.
Okay. And Tom,
Yes, sir.
one other thing, the wedding ring, he can get that returned.
Cannot.
He can.
Can. Oh,
Yes, he knows where it is.
well, that would be maybe a first. Okay, all right, we'll get going on it. Okay, Robert?
Okay, good. Thank you.
Brenna?
Judge, could you put me in a breakout room with Mr. Broback real quick?
Sure. Let me see. I'll send you to number 5. And Mr. Broback, if you'll go to number 5.
Ma'am.
All right, Mr. Mason, I'm trying to look through the file to discover when you were placed on the no driving, because I'm not the one who actually took your plea. I don't see a docketing sheet. Just one second.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just trying to figure out when the no driving was in place. So just give me a moment.
No worries. I was gonna say, Ms. Your Honor, if I can keep the ignition interlock on to keep me driving, I would prefer that because I've been paying it anyways, and I'm kind of used to it. But I mean, just to keep me driving, because if it's going to prevent me from not driving to work, that's going to be a little bit of a hardship because it's like 2 buses to commute back and forth to work.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out when you were placed on no driving because I don't see in here the date you were ordered not to drive.
Okay.
I see the half the term for ignition interlock. So I'm just trying to find out when that was put in place.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. As soon as the court gets paperwork, everyone, I will be ready to proceed. Mr. Dewalt, have you received your paperwork from the court coordinator yet?
Your Honor, yes, I have, and it's signed, and she signed it, and we're back. So as soon as you get it, we are ready.
Okay, awesome. And that's on which client?
I believe it's pronounced Bulch. Is that correct, ma'am?
All
Elizabeth?
right, so we're going to proceed with that now.
Thank you, Judge.
Who is the prosecutor on Bulch?
It was me, Judge.
Okay. And she has 2 cases, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Correct, Judge. I'll be reading the same violation for both.
Okay. Brenna, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, the court is calling 2014 CR 4994W and 4995W, State of Texas versus Elizabeth Ann Bulch. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Eric Dewalt, and I represent Miss Bulch.
And are you Miss Bulch? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Bulch, did you review documents in each of these cause numbers entitled defendant's consent to appear by video? Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you electronically sign them?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision and First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Are you the same Elizabeth Ann Bulch in cause number 2014 CR 4994W?
Yes, ma'am.
A deferred adjudication for the offense of robbery on July 9, 2014 for a period of 5 years and extended for a total of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you the same Elizabeth Ann Bulch who was placed on deferred adjudication in cause number 2014 CR 4995W for the offense of forgery of commercial instrument of check on July 9, 2014 for a period of 5 years and extended for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State.
We'll be reading from the first amended motion. Same violation for both cases. On or about the 22nd day of November, 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Elizabeth Ann Bulch committed the offense of fraud, use, possession of ID info 50+ in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that in each of the cause numbers? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the remaining violations.
Defense, any objections to the state's waivers?
Yeah, Your Honor, the only thing I would bring to the state's attention is I got a MTR on the 4995W, and that one doesn't have the amended allegation. So does she want to read another allegation on 4995?
And that's 995?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have a violation of condition number 1 on 2014 CR 4995W.
Okay.
And the court does too.
Okay, then I received 2 MTRs today. One has an amended, the other one doesn't, but we're in agreement with that.
So any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Balch, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1 in 2014 CR 4994W, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1 under that cause number?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And that cause number, the court will find violation of condition number 1 true. And cause number 2014 CR 4995W, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1 under that cause number?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. In 2014 CR 4995W, the forgery case, we're asking this court to adjudicate her guilty, revoke her community supervision, sentence her under 1244 to 90 days in the Bexar County Jail with credit for time served.
Is there anticipation that that's a judgment satisfied?
For that one, yes, Judge, not on the on the robbery case, no.
All right, and is that to run concurrent with the other case?
Sure, yes, Judge.
All right, defense, is that your agreement and as it relates to that cause number?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Balch, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Then in cause number 2014 CR 4995W, the court will follow your agreement, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 90 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code, give you credit for any time served. This run concurrent with 2014 CR 4994W. The court will show that the judgment is satisfied. I'm going to show you under that cause number what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question on what the definition of a weapon is, you'll need to consult an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
And then in 2014 CR 4994W, we're asking the court to adjudicate her guilt, revoke her community supervision, and sentence her to 4 years. And in exchange for her plea, we are going to take into consideration and dismiss grand jury number 763500 and county court case number 674234.
Defense, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Are you, Ms. Balch, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will follow your agreement. This will run concurrent with, the court will find you guilty, not grant you community supervision. This will run concurrent with 2018 CR 1. Not 2018. This will run concurrent with 2014 CR 4995W. Court will sentence you to 4 years in prison, taking into consideration grand jury number 763500, county court cause number 674234. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon is, you'll need to consult with an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Balch, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Ms. Balch, here's the thing, and have I been pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes, ma'am, you have.
Okay. Here's the thing. How old are you?
I'm 28.
All right, you're 28. You still have more of your life in front of you than you have behind you. So you're gonna have to start making some decisions. Don't be the person who's in and out of jail and at the prison when somebody new comes in and they say, who do we need to talk to figure out how the things run here? And they say, oh, speak to the oldest person here. And they'll say, who is that? Oh, that's Boach. We just call her Grandma Boach. So don't be the grandmother at the prison, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, maybe just.
Yes, and Norma, you can let them know L26 can go back. And Norma, do we have an update on Mr. Paul Smith, please?
I will contact him, Judge.
Is there anyone else who's ready?
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Your Honor, I was just checking to see if the jail was able to pinpoint my client. Is he on his way or?
All right, just give me a moment on that. It's turning into a Monday, but if everyone puts a smile on their face, it's still going to be a great Wednesday. Thank you, Ms. Adams. So it's still gonna be a great Wednesday. We just have to put patience in our pocket. It's a good thing I'm wearing pants today, Brenna, and it comes with 4 pockets. And then it comes, Brenna, it comes with that little pocket that I don't know what the point of it is. You have the pocket on the outside, then the little pocket at the top. Somebody do some research and discover why they decided to put that pocket there. I don't know. I'm sure it's for a reason. Roland Garcia, who are you here for? All right, he is on mute. Let me see who he's here for. He is on David Morales. That's criminal trial. I'm sorry, that's family violence. And it's for discovery. So I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge. So I've consulted with Tom, and we just need to, my client still wants to remain on the trial docket or be on the trial docket. But Tom was open to a counter offer, so that's another aspect of the case. And I will see Mr. Vega this weekend and discuss how he wants to proceed.
All right.
I know that he wants me to file some motions, and maybe at our next hearing, at our next setting, we can hear those motions.
All right.
But I haven't filed them yet.
So, Tom, will you have an answer for their counter offer or no?
They haven't given me. Yes,
No,
Judge.
we haven't given one yet. Yes, correct, John.
So when are you planning on giving this counter offer?
After I speak to Mr. Vega this weekend, his case, although it's old 2 years, I haven't been on it the 2 years, only just recently been. And so there's some discovery we need to go over before we decide on a counteroffer or to go to trial.
All right, Norma, can we recall this on December 15th in the morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll be back on December 15th. Mr. Vega, you need to make a decision on the state's offer and defense. If you have a counter offer to give the state, you need to give it to the state, before the 15th, so they can make a decision on whether or not they're accepting your counter offer.
Yes, Your Honor. And do you think we might be able to hear those motions at our next setting?
Just file them and make sure the state has copies. And if both parties are ready to proceed, then the court is always here.
Okay, Judge. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right.
Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Vega can go back? He is 14P.
Yes, ma'am.
And Norma, if you could give me an update on Mr. Rocha on Jordan Dow. And has someone already spoken to Ruben Flores on Alfonso Diaz? It's on page 10, a possession with intent to deliver.
What room is he in, Judge?
He is in room number 2.
No.
Ms. Boyd, just to, it's Adams.
Yes.
You know that question you just had about the little pocket?
Yes.
I mostly use it for a lighter or spare change.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
I thought it would be interesting to answer your question. Sorry.
No, I appreciate the answer. My motto is the same motto that my grandmother and my mom always tell me. You need to learn something new every day. And if you learn something new every day, then that day was worth it. So I try to learn something new every day.
See, my motto is you got to make one person smile a day because that's how you know you're doing a job right.
Aw, thank you so much. You just made me smile.
And Judge, I send you a chat.
All right, thank you. All right, Hector Garza, do you have the paperwork from the county court, number 14?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I was just finishing up a plea before Judge.
Oh,
Fellow.
no problem.
But I did hear you call me, I believe.
Yes, I was just wondering, do you need to speak with Adams or no? I mean, you ready for sentencing?
I wanted to one last time going through my email. Again, Judge, hadn't seen the PSI, so.
All right.
But absent that, we're ready.
Rebecca, could you give the Mr. Garza the PSI on Miss Adams, please?
I thought that was reset for January, the 17th or so, because we were waiting for the DDR, the Tacoma evaluation. On Mocha, it shows it's reset for January 17th.
Okay, it's showing that it's being reset for January 17th, Mr. Garza. Or we can.
Judge, with all due respect, I mean.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's no, see, when people say with all due respect, what's coming after is not with respect. So here's the thing. What I was going to say is if you want to go forward, we can go forward without that. But I'm going to order it if that's what's being requested, because it says that the state wanted a mouth evaluation, and that's what you all agreed to.
We're recommending.
That's fine, Judge.
So we are fine if that gets done outside of custody. If you know.
It's the Tacoma evaluation. So they're saying that they're wanting to see if it's if she's approved for both DDRF and MHI. So they already have the appointment set for January 13th.
So those can't be done outside of custody?
No, that's what Center for Healthcare. I don't know their appointments.
Okay.
So I can't guarantee that.
So Rebecca, do you think you can find that out, or
yeah, I'll see what if I can get a response.
All right, thank you so much, Rebecca. I appreciate that.
And Judge, I send you into the chat.
All right, Mr. Rocha, I'm being told by Ms. Ferguson that Mr. Dowell will be here in 5 minutes.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you.
Now, when they say 5 minutes, I don't know if that's a normal 5 minutes or if that's 10 minutes, but they're telling me 5 minutes.
Okay, I will sit here. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and then Tom.
John,
yes.
I'm sorry, on Miracle, am I supposed to go to do we have a Zoom ID, or how are we going to take care of his plea?
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, and Ms. Ferguson will meet you there to explain that to you, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll send your client to number 1. And Tom, can I meet you and could you meet me in breakout room number 3, please? Everyone, just give me a moment.
Before you go, can you put Alfonso Diaz? He's L11 on the screen. Can you put him in number 2? His lawyer's in there already. She's already gone. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Mason. Richard Mason.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. So Mr. Mason, on your case, this is what we're going to do. You're gonna be on ignition interlock.
Okay.
We're gonna try that for a while. Once we try that for a little bit more, then I'll consider removing the ignition interlock. But what I will remove is I'll remove the condition of no driving. So Rebecca, Mr. Mason will be allowed to drive as long as he has ignition interlock. And then since he's been doing this since 2019, in another 3 to 4 months, just bring it back and I'll consider whether or not ignition interlock should be removed.
Judge, I believe you already signed the removal.
Well, let's come back because.
Okay,
let's just
add it back on.
Yes, add it back on because I didn't know he had the no driving condition. I'm not the person who did the no driving condition.
Okay, did you see the condition, the email I sent you with his original conditions attached?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's just remove no driving as one of his conditions. And we'll put him back on ignition interlock. You still have the ignition interlock, is that correct, Mr. Mason?
Yes, ma'am, I still do.
Okay, then I'll just make a note in probation's file that it is not to be removed.
Yes. All right, Norma, Mr. Paul Smith is here.
Yes, ma'am, I am already texting the judge.
All right, so just give me a moment. And Mr.
And
Mason,
Judge-
I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation and they'll go over your conditions. So
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Mason, I'll send you to breakout room number 3 and just be patient. Probation will meet you there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Rebecca.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Judge, I
ma'am.
plan on going down to the courtroom to hand over the discovery for Ryan's sentence, but I'm working on paperwork on something else, but just to let the court be aware.
Okay, that's no problem. And Judge Angelini will be here shortly. He has to go from the court he's in to come here.
Okay. You're fine.
Judge, can you put me in with Tom?
Yes, I'll put you in breakout room number 6. Brenna, I'm going to make you host for just one moment. Everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room, please?
Did you ask for Judge?
Yes.
Oh, here she is. Hold on. I'll tell her.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room, please?
Yes, just 1 second, Rebecca. So Brenna, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
And let them know that the judge for that case is coming in.
Okay.
And is there a prosecutor available to take the plea on Miracle?
Yes, Judge, I can go.
All right, thank you. So if you, Ms. Sparks, if you could go to number 1, and then then the judge will be zooming in and I'll send him to 1. And Rebecca, I'll meet you in a breakout room. Just let me get the judge in that breakout room. So everyone, be patient just a moment. There are a lot of moving parts that are happening today. There are 3 judges, so.
Put some patience in your pocket.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Adams. All right, Mr. Dowell is here. Mr. Rocha, do you need to speak with Mr. Dowell?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Dowell, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Someone has already moved, Mr. Dowell. Have they? Hello, Judge Key. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but my breakout room is showing.
I know. Just give me 1 moment.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. All right, Mr. Dowell, I'm going to send you to number 2. And Mr. Rocha, I'm going to send you to number 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. And Judge Key, I've sent you to breakout room number 1. Thank you so much for zooming in. All right, and then everyone just give me a moment. Rebecca, I'll meet you in breakout room number 3. Okay, Ruben Flores.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, what is happening with your client?
I have conferred with Tom and we have reached an agreement. And I believe he is working on the paperwork or is going to work on the paperwork. And we're going to
Okay.
take it today.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Broback on Donovan Castro, what is happening?
Yes, ma'am, I'm waiting for the paperwork, Your Honor. I've signed the discovery. I'm waiting for the plea documents to complete that.
Okay. And then Roland Garcia, what is happening on Mr. Morales and the discovery?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
So I have conferred with the state. I spoke with Joe Ray. He's not the one that's handling this case, but he had some notes in there, he knows what's going on. I'm going to be making an appointment with the DA's office, hopefully either this week or next week, which should hopefully resolve everything.
All right, who's the prosecutor on it? Do we know?
Joe Ray, who's on David Morales? I forgot who it was. It used to be David Martin, and then he transferred out, and I forgot who took it over.
You were discussing before with Caitlin, but I think he just needs to come in and view some discovery, Judge, is what we're waiting on.
All right, so Mr. Morales, can you unmute, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I normally don't allow cases to sit for this long. Of course, it's been sitting for this time period because of COVID and us not having jurors available. But then it was also sitting because your attorney needed to get the CPS records. Mr. Garcia, do you have the CPS records?
CPS records?
Yes, on January 26th.
Yes. Yes,
it was. So you have the CPS records.
I did receive those, Your Honor. Yes.
And can you tell me what are you needing to view in the state's office? Is this sensitive matters that are not allowed to be given to you?
They are some, yes, that's correct. Some of them are protected. Some of them are from a sealed case that are not related directly to Mr. Morales, but have to do with the witnesses. This is one where you held an in-camera review and made the order on this.
Okay. All right. Norma, since they have finished with Mr. Marigold, did you all finish with him, Brenna?
Yes, we're finished.
All right, Norma, you can now see if Judge Angelini is available.
And Judge, I'm going to go in the courtroom to do that.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Garza, on Miss Adams, I conferred with the probation officer for our court, and she's saying that on Miss Adams, she can do it out of custody. So here's the thing, Miss Adams, I need you to unmute. If your attorney wants to go forward with this, there were concerns voiced by probation that they were afraid that you were going to use if you were released. So your appointment is going to be for December 20th. So you need to make sure you make that appointment. If you don't make that appointment, a warrant is going to be issued for your arrest because they're going to file a motion to revoke. You understand? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I fully understand. And God bless y'all. And I thank y'all very much for giving me that chance.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Hector, can you put in the chat box to the probation officer? She's listed as Reyes. Put your email address in that and she'll send you a copy of the PSI report. And before you go to the breakout room to review that with your client, put it in the chat box. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Miss Adams, I'll send you to number 2. Norma, on Roland Garcia, can I get a reset date, a 30-day reset? He's going to go and view discovery that the state has in their offices.
Yes, ma'am.
And if I could have that in the chat box, please.
Yes, ma'am. Give me one moment. I'm sorry.
All right, that's going to really come back on January 13th, Roland.
Okay, Judge.
Judge Boyd,
Yes.
there's somebody in breakout room number 2.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to send you then to breakout room number 1. And Mr. Garcia, if you have nothing else with us, then you're excused. Do you need to speak with Mr. Morales?
Yes, if I could speak with him briefly, Judge.
All right, after you finish speaking with him, please come to the main, bring him back to the main room.
Okay,
Sending you to number 3.
thank you, Judge.
Mr. Morales, I'm sending you to 3.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And everyone, just put some patience in your pocket. Mr. Garza, you can go to breakout room number 1. That's where your client is.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Mr. Smith, as soon as Judge Angelini is available, we'll put Judge Angelini on, all right?
Very well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And your client is actually in the courtroom. Jose Rocha on Mr. Dial.
Yes, Your Honor, I went over the offer with my client, and if I could just be placed with Ms. Sparks briefly, I think that we'll be able to have a plea of truth today.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you.
And Ms. Sparks, if you could go to breakout room number 4 for me, please.
Hello, Judge. This is Roland Garcia.
Yes.
I finished conferring with my client, and he can be excused.
All right, Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Morales is excused? He's in number 12. Thank you, Mr. Morales, for your patience. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Mr. Brawback, you're still waiting on paperwork?
I've signed the paperwork, Judge. I see that the probation application has not been sent to the Donovan. And do you want breakout room with Donovan to go over the documents to make sure he signs them now?
Yes, okay, let me send you there. Let me see which breakout room Mr. Castro is in. Yes, if you'll go back to breakout room number 5. Yes, she's in the courtroom. Mr. Rocha, you have your hand raised?
Yes, Your Honor, just wanted to notify you that I spoke to Ms. Sparks. We have made sure that everything is kosher and we're ready to take a plea of true if the court's okay with that today.
All right, so what we'll need to do is, Ms. Ferguson, can I have the paperwork for Mr. Dow? Is this a request for revocation or something else?
No, Your Honor, is going to be, yes, it's an MTR and it would be withdrawn. He would go to do SATF and go
So
to.
are they requesting a plea of true to anything or no? Ms. Sparks?
She's on mute, but yes, Your Honor. We will be pleading true to 1.
All right, so Norma, he'll need a consent to plead by video
Yes, ma'am.
or a dial?
I will
Once-
send over that paperwork in just a few minutes. Judge.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Mr. Garza, have you gone over things with your client?
We have, Judge.
All right, just give me a moment. To the courtroom, is Judge Angelini in the courtroom? I believe he is. So everyone just give me a moment. All right, Mr. Flores, do you need to be in a breakout room with your client?
Well, Judge, I've signed the plea paperwork, but I have not gotten the certificate of appeal and the consent for video conference and the application for deferred. And I have not gotten the discovery yet.
All right, Norma, if you can get that to Mr. Flores.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So they'll be sending that to you. And Mr. Flores, what I'm going to do is I'll send you to a breakout room with your client, Mr. Diaz.
Yes, ma'am. I'll start going over the paperwork with him then.
Mr. Diaz, if you could go to breakout room number 1, please. And Mr. Garza, as soon as the court reporter is available, we'll take up your matter.
Judge, I sent you a chat.
All right, thank you. Paul Smith?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. I'm sorry.
All right, Mr. Smith, your client is in the courtroom.
Okay.
So to the courtroom, Mr. Smith needs to join you. Just one moment, Mr. Smith. Courtroom, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6, 187 DC. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6. And Mr. Smith, I'm going to send you to number 6. So if you can join them there, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, we're just waiting for the court reporter to set up. And so then the first person we're going to take up is going to be Adams. And then we will do our pleas, and then we're going to take our break. And to the clerks, you should have the paperwork on Diaz.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Brenda, just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, who are the parties on Bridget Adams?
Caitlin Wilkes for the state.
All right, the court is going to call 2021 CR 8557A, State of Texas versus Bridget Adams. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Caitlin Wilkes for the state.
For the defense?
Hector Garza Jr. for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Miss Adams? Miss Adams?
Unmute. You're muted, Bridget.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, off the record for a moment. Mr. Castro, have you been sworn in?
No, no, I believe not.
No,
All right,
Jan.
you need to go to breakout room number 3, and to the clerks, if you could go to number 3 and please swear in Mr. Castro and the other people who are doing their paperwork.
Thank you, Judge.
Mhm. All right, we're back on the record. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Ms. Adams, do you have any objection to this hearing taking place by video?
No, ma'am, I don't.
And the court will note for the record that the defendant entered her plea by video as well. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine to be probated. The state is silent on the defendant's request for deferred adjudication. The state does recommend community supervision. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, have you had a chance to review the PSI report?
We have, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
All right, then, so the only issue is whether or not the defendant should be given deferred adjudication. State, you're remaining silent on the defendant's application. Mr. Garza, are you still requesting, or is your client still requesting to be placed on deferred adjudication?
She is, Your Honor, and for the record, Judge, I have explained to my client the difference between regular and deferred. I have explained to her the positives as well as the big negatives of the deferred, which would come in case she violates and doesn't complete successfully. But she does wish to request deferred.
All right, so here's the thing, Ms. Adams. The state is requesting that if you were to be revoked, your underlying sentence would be 2 years. If you're placed on deferred adjudication and you're revoked, your your maximum sentence would still be 2 years. So I can give you deferred adjudication. The thing about deferred adjudication, it won't result in a conviction being on your record for this if you successfully complete it, but it's still going to show on your record. So are you still requesting deferred adjudication?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. So this is what the court will do. The court will place you on 5 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine to be probated. And the court, of course, is finding there's sufficient evidence of your guilt, but deferring finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. And I see that another attorney, another judge took this plea. That was Judge Herr. Do you have any children?
I have one stepson.
All right. And are you still involved in his life?
Yes, ma'am. Me and my fiance are still,
How old is the stepson?
he's 2 years old.
All right, is Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am, not at all.
All right, so we're going to do parenting classes. No contact with Tricia Hudgins, Hudgins. No contact with Hope Serenity Collins. There's to be no unsupervised contact with any minor. So that means you're not allowed to babysit. You're not allowed to do anything of that nature. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I completely understand.
So your fiance is not allowed to leave you alone with his child. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Currently, we live with my sister, so I'm never left unsupervised with the child.
And you understand the reason for that, my request at that, correct? Because so much could have happened with placing a baby in a backpack.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially a newborn, but any child in a backpack.
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be CPS compliance if applicable. Just one moment. There's to be a mouth evaluation out of custody. And that's to take place on December 20th. So you are to make sure you complete that and you report on December 20th for that appointment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Will I be getting the paperwork to know
Yes.
the address and stuff?
Yes, you will.
Thank you.
If you do not report for that appointment, then a warrant may be issued and a motion to revoke may be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So when's the last time you used any type of drug? And when I say drug, that includes alcohol as well.
The night I was arrested, ma'am.
And how much alcohol or drugs were you using?
I consumed three beers, 24 ounces.
There's going to be the UA hotline upon release, field visits. And Rebecca, tell probation, I'm sorry for this, but I don't know who's in charge of that. The 2-year-old, 2-year-olds can't get on the phone and say, I'm being left, with people I shouldn't be left with. So it's going to be field visits 4 times per month, random. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Or proof of SSI within 30 days. There is to be weekly Zoom reporting or in person until that evaluation is complete, Rebecca, and she's actually under the supervision of that. And we'll see if she's appropriate for the MIC unit. 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if she provides proof of her COVID vaccination. And the state is asking for a deduction of 5 community service hours for each month the defendant stays on prescribed medication. And I'm okay with doing that. Rebecca, is there anything else that she needs?
No, ma'am.
All right. And so, Ms. Adams, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. God bless y'all and thank y'all very much.
All right, Ms. Adams, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, and Ms. Adams, I'm serious about the no unsupervised contact with any minor. So if there is something that pops up where your fiance says, hey, I'm just running to the convenience store, I don't feel like putting the baby in the car seat and doing A, B, and C, you need to tell him that is unacceptable for him to leave you alone, because otherwise you're going to end up with a motion to revoke. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Most of the time I go to the store with them and the baby anyway.
Okay, so just remember that, and that's not just for that child, that's for any child.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we will close the record. Ms. Adams, good luck to you.
Thank
Just
you.
remain on this Zoom screen because we have another plea to take up. Mr. Garza, you're excused unless you need to speak with your client again.
No, we're done. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, the court is, Mr. Dowell, have you been sworn in? All right, if you will go to breakout room number 3 with your attorney and the clerks will swear you in.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to call 2021
Excuse me,
CR.
Judge.
I'm sorry, yes.
I received an email from Ms. Sparks saying that they were gonna withdraw that.
They still want him to plead true though.
Okay.
That's what I'm being told. Is it being withdrawn without a plea of true?
Yes, Judge, we're gonna withdraw and not have him plead true.
All right, then.
That's correct, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, so is there going to be conditions added for him though?
Yes.
Yes, Judge, we're going to add SATIF.
Okay, all right then, Mr. Rocha, you're excused.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, you too. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 8830, State of Texas versus Donovan Castro. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Robert Brobach for Donovan Castro.
And are you Mr. Castro?
Yes, yes, I am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Castro, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did.
Everyone, just give me a moment, please. Okay, we are back on the record. Mr. Brobach, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Ma'am,
All
I
right.
did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Castro, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I didn't review it, but I do understand it.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Ma'am, I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Castro, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
All right, did you understand you're charged with burglary of a habitation as a second-degree felony? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, I do.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, I understand.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, I understand.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, I do.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, I do.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Ma'am, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, he's legally competent.
Mr. Castro, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Rebecca, I put a notice in the chat box to you, so you may be able to go and take up Ms. Adams and Ms. Castro.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Adams.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to see which breakout room you are in. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Mr. Dow, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. And Rebecca will meet you in number 2. And everyone, this will be the last plea we take up before we do our break. Mr. Castro, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 5 years. There's a $1,000 fine probated. State opposes your application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. State will take in consideration cause number 663041. There's to be restitution, if any, to Catherine Reynolds and cause number 663041. There's to be no contact with Michael Henson, Hinson, Esther Henson, Ester, Catherine Reynolds, and no contact with 10631 Green Nook, NOOK Drive, and 5003 Green Post Road. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Sir, yes, ma'am, it is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, except there's one more line on there, Your Honor, for restitution to be determined to the Hensons. I think that's the first line. They're the victim in the current case, and then Catherine is the victim of the case being dismissed.
All right, and also there's to be restitution to Michael Henson. Did you understand that, Mr. Castro?
Yes.
All right. Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions? All right, then to the offense is charged burglary of a habitation force. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objection? Mr. Castro, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulation. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
I believe I did sign it. I'm not too sure. Is it signed?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I did sign it. Yes, we did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, I understand.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. This case will come back on January 13th for sentencing. Mr. Brabach, does your client need a TAP evaluation?
Oh, ma'am, he doesn't.
All right, we will see you back on January 13th, Mr. Castro. I will send you to breakout room number 2.
Judge.
All right, everyone, we're going to take our break for today and we will be back at 2:30 this afternoon.
Judge, before you go, he's into the chat.
Okay, Brenda, are you able to take up one more plea?
Yes, Judge.
Norma, we also have Lorraine Efron on Gonzalez.
That one's been reset, Judge.
When has it been reset to?
The 19th, January 19th.
And when is Ricky Gutierrez reset for?
Tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Gutierrez, we're going to see you tomorrow. Your attorney is unable to be here today, so we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. 14-0 can go back. And then what about Gregory Oliver? On the recall?
He was found incompetent.
When is he coming back?
Give me one second. He was found.
I'm using your scissors. All right, are we ready on Diaz?
Judge, we have the paperwork signed and he's been sworn in, but I have not received a discovery packet to sign off on.
All right, State, do you know if there's a discovery packet?
Judge, I sent it. I'll send a reminder.
Brenna, I'm being told that this is our last case for today, so we can come back this afternoon or we can push through.
It's fine, Judge.
Okay. All right, Brenna, you ready? All right, the court is going to call 2021 CR 29957, State of Texas versus Alfonso Diaz. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense.
Group notice for Mr. Diaz.
And are you Ruben Diaz?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objections, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No.
Mr. Flores, any objections? Mr. Diaz, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, Mr. Diaz, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
I don't know.
No, Your Honor, we're going to be waiving count 1 and proceed on count 2.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
All right, next I'm going to show you what's entitled court's admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on count 2, which is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Diaz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $1,000 fine. The state recommends deferred adjudication. There's $57 to San Antonio Police Department for laboratory testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, the MRT and random UAs. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged and count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
I'm going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes.
understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
With the court's permission,
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we simply ask that you follow the plea bargain. This is his first felony offense, and I do know the family personally, Judge, and I think that they were unaware of his drug usage, and they've expressed to me that they're going to help him succeed in his probation.
All right, Mr. Diaz, how often are you using drugs?
No longer using.
No, you haven't been using while you've been at the jail. How long were you using? And what were you using?
I was using coke and marijuana.
How often?
Every 2 weeks.
All right, do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court will sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine, probated, $57 SAPD for laboratory testing, 120 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you've obtained the COVID vaccination. Court is not forcing you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 120 hours will be waived. MRT, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits, 2 times per month, random. UA hotline. Intensive outpatient treatment with probation. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. All right, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, Mr. Diaz, I want you to know I'm giving you a chance on outpatient treatment. You understand? So you need to make sure that you follow through on everything.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. I'm sorry, number 2. Probation will go over conditions with you. And Mr. Flores, you're excused if you don't have anything else with us.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, everyone. It was, sort of a Monday on a Wednesday. But we don't have to come back this afternoon. So you guys have a great one. And Mr. Flores, I'll see you later. Welcome. All right, so everyone, I will see you all on Thursday. It seems like the day was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all roll into one. But we're done.